Welcome to this new interview. I'm honored to be here with Dr. Shamrahayu, who have written the paper Malaysian Legal Philosophy. She's one of the authors of the book The Mind of the World Philosophy Day 2019, sponsored by the Malaysian branch of the World Philosophical Forum. Thank you, Doctor, to be here with us, accepting this invitation. And we're going to talk a little bit about your paper, which I have seen is related to a really good movement you are promoting right now in Malaysia. And so please tell me, you talk in your paper about the Malaysian legal system, which is a combination of the common law system, the civil law system, and the religion-based legal system. At the end of the paper, you say that this needs to be maintained. What do you think this combination needs to be maintained in Malaysia?
Thank you, Carlos. My great pleasure to be on your channel. The paper that I prepared for the mind is something that I'm promoting for the Malaysian nation. When I say that is a system to be retained as what we have now, most importantly for stabilization, because the system has proven to be best for Malaysia. So we have independence in about 62 years now, and we have 38 years going for a civilization, or 100 years of time. So for the time being, the system has proven its durability and capability to maintain multiculturalism in Malaysia. And for the purpose of stabilization, I believe the system, of course, the core system shall remain, but changes may happen or may be carried out on the minor matters or on a micro level rather than macro change of the legal system. So especially the dual legal system, I think should be maintained for personal matters and also for public matters, two different legal systems.
You say in your paper that it is submitted that the key feature of the Malaysian legal system and the basis for Malaysian legal philosophy is a pure Malaysia value, which was derived from Islamic religious values. So what does exactly Malaysian values mean?
Malaysian values are the values that best for Malaysians. How Malaysians determine that the values are best for them? Basically, I say we come back to the religious values. Most Malaysians are religious. They have religion. And the Malaysian national philosophy, or what we name as Rukun Negara, our Malaysian national philosophy, has in the first fundamental principles that believe in God. So I believe the Malaysian values we have, that we share, all the Malaysians shares are based on the religion. When I say Islamic religious, because Islam has been the religion of the land for many hundreds years. Therefore, and we Malaysian, three dominant race are Malays, Chinese, and Indians. I make it general because these three dominant races, those people come from a civilization. We know that we have Malay civilization in the Malay archipelago. We have Chinese civilization and Indian civilizations. These civilizations across the world come and develop here in Malaysia. Therefore, all these civilizations have religions at a basis. And the Malays has Islam as the religion, and Islam has been the ideology, in terms of the governance, has been the ideology in the administration, have been way of life for all Malays on this land. And when we have Chinese and Indian as dominant citizens and also races in Malaysia, we wish that all this civilization we flourish here in the country, having Malaysian values, which everybody happy with the values or accept the values, but with their religious foundations. And the core belief of the religions will be the philosophy of the country as enshrined in our national philosophy, that is belief in God as the first principle.
That's interesting because I am a person, so let's say I'm a Malaysian, and I'm Islamic. But if I wrap it out, my religion, I'm still a Malaysian. And for some reason, I wrap it out my citizenship, I'm still a person. So in this context, you're giving more value to the citizenship. So because you say what is better for the Malaysian, not the person, but Malaysian. So is it not contradictory to, or is it not harmful maybe, to promote values that need to serve a nation instead the person itself or human beings?
Okay, sometimes in the development of a nation, especially about ethos of the nation, people would say that citizenship is the most important element. But I share the same view, but I think there are other important elements in the building the ethos of the nation. Religion of one of it can be the individual, but as shared by our Prime Minister, way back in 1991 when he announced the ethos of the nation must be that we respect individuals, but there may always be conflict between the individual conscious and the nation conscious. Therefore, if Malaysia is building a nation with certain ethos, with Malaysian values, therefore we have to respect individuals and the individual has to respect the values of the nation. It's a problem of all multiculturalism countries in the world, where does individuals are conscious to be in conflict with the national ethos or the national identity, then one has to adopt with the national identity. Be you a citizens or be you a people just staying in the country, you must respect the ethos of the nation. But in coming to the specific values or the ethos of the nation, it must be a little bit of feelings of patriotism and nationalism. That is important. So to increase nationalism or the consciousness in the individuals, people living in the country is also important in order for us to build our nation.
You know that I'm really interested in this topic because I'm Venezuelan. My hometown is Venezuela, and we all know what is going on right now there. And I truly understand that nationalism, patriotism is maybe an anti-value because it promotes the development or the preservation of a society against others. Nationalism is the thing that led Hitler, for instance, to go to World War II, and other nations as well to fight against other nations because of the nationalism. So is it possible a way to create or to have a space in the legal system promoting sort of earth citizenship which is promoted by the World Philosophical Forum, even though UNESCO and other organizations? And because, for example, the third example I have is Estonia. I am a e-resident of Estonia. I have an electronic residence there, and I have companies there, I have activities there, and even though I'm not Estonian and I'm not living there. So is it possible, or have you forecast or see any way to combine this earth citizenship with the national citizenship?
Yeah, I want to comment on patriotism and nationalism first.
Sure.
Some people taking it, at the beginning, let's say when Anthony Smith talked about nation, ethno-symbolism of the nation, and later we talk about Marxism theory of the nation. So of course, people can interpret patriotism and nationalism on their own way. But for Malaysian, we have all the principles that we have established since before we independence. I have something to share with the whole world that we know Malaysia is a peaceful country. We are living, we have multiculturalism, and since independence until now, we haven't seen a true confrontational or true conflict of religious conflict in Malaysia. And Malaysia is known to be a country which is capable of handling problems relating to multiculturalism. And in fact, we traveled through the history of Malaysia, beginning from Malacca Sultanate, for example. For 100 years, Malacca Sultanate had been a center for all world to come over, all people of different citizens to come over to Malacca, from China, Arabs, India. So we have, Malaysia was under colonization for 446 years, beginning 1511 until 1957 when we achieved independence. Within that period of time, we have people all over the world come to the Straits of Malacca, and Malacca had been a center. But when we achieve independence, we appreciate the whole of people who've been here. And we can see many people come over to be and stay in Malaysia, probably as a second home, Malaysia. And it's proven to the world that our nationalism is for the purpose of feeling of belonging, of purpose of instilling the feeling of belongings of everyone staying here. So to make Malaysia a prosperous nation, living in harmony. Whatever religion you have, whatever culture you have, Malaysia always accepts. The combinations of this culture make Malaysia must be prosper. How does the law contribute to this? Our constitution as the supreme law of the federation, we have a written constitution, and the constitution had been developed, had been formed or promulgated by way of negotiation, by way of bargaining, by way of agreement. There was no bloodshed during the time when we achieved independence. They were all negotiation. We have found hard time in our history only with communist insurgencies, but we were able to achieve our independence during communist insurgencies. So the government, the British government at that time, and also with the contribution of our local leaders like Tengku Abdul Rahman, our first Prime Minister, has made the constitution suitable to all time. From Merdeka 1957 until now, we haven't changed the constitution, but we amended certain provisions to suit with the time. Of course, Malaysian constitution had been amended for almost 55 times, involving about 700 provisions. But due to enlargement of Federation of Malaya with the joining of Sabah, Sarawak and Singapore, and the changes have been made to the constitution. But thus far, what we have in the constitution been able to manage the differences we have. And the constitution was meant not only as the supreme law of the land, but it's a document that stabilizes the social, the economics and the political factor that will surely affect the development of the nation. So as far as the Malaysian legal system is concerned, it is well preserved in the constitution as the supreme law of the federation. And to conclude on this subject, on the issue, I would say the constitution has been developed in such a way that agreeable to every person that at that time was as the citizens of Malaysia. Although it's a top-down constitution, but it was well received by all the 13 states or 11 states at the beginning, and it's also the monarchy also accepted the provisions of the constitution. I think the constitution is the best document. It's one of the best constitution in the world.
Okay. No, I agree. I have to say that I have been here like for 2 weeks, and it is something we all can be proud of. That even though it's a small country, since the Malaysian independence, there have not been conflict. How is the word? Conflicts?
Religious conflicts? Or
no religion or civil conflict.
There's nothing except a little one in 1969, and we managed to bring back democracy, and there was no coup d'etat. Bring back democracy only in 1 year.
Yeah, and not only that, that I have seen as well that in universities it's multicultural. It's like everybody's coming here to study. It's something that we all should take an eye on to see what's going on here.
Thank you.
And the last question, because we are running out of time. Time, goes like water. This concept of religion-based system, law system, does it affect non-Muslim? Because of course here, I guess the religion-based system is based on Islam, right? But does this affect somehow non-Muslim?
Yeah, this is always the questions that people put forward, whether Islamic legal system will be affecting negatively against the non-Muslims.
Maybe not just negatively, it's
So it's affected
Yeah,
as
because
a citizens when the law is adopted as the law of the nation. That is, of course, it will affect everyone. Let's say Islam has been the religion at the time of we were independent. Islamic law has been the law of the land and is proven by many case law. Law of the land since Malacca days, since the Sultanate of Malacca days. Then the Islamic law has been the law of the land. When the Chinese, especially the Indians, those sometimes they say that they are not professing the religion of Islam. They were in this country when Islam was the law of the land. So when they adopt to the law and the constitution says that Islam is the religion of the federation, there was no objection at the time we independent. Of course, when we have a legal system, it will affect everybody, Muslims and non-Muslims. But then whether the law is just or not, that is the most important. When we come back to the law of Islam, two important things that Islam introduced in the legal system. One is consultation, what we call mutual consultation, and another is justice. When we have two of these, let's say engagement is one thing, and we have justice. As long as the law, whatever you name it, whether it's religious law, or whether it's common law, or whether it's civil law system, it has to have two important aspects. One is consultation, another is justice. When we have this, there is no matter what system is named. So it's just important is what is the end that we'll get. Most important is everyone will get justice. That's the aim of all legal system. And what I propose is that the Malaysian legal philosophy must also have this. Justice is the main aim, and recognizing the history of Malaysia, recognizing the importance of values that everyone wants to be the Malaysian values, and that would be the best items or values that we want to include in the Malaysian legal philosophy.
So what if I live here? Should my child, my kids need to be Muslim?
No.
No, they don't
Can
need.
continue to practice whatever religion that the parents have.
Great.
So when he's under the age of 18, the Constitution under Article 12 says that he will follow the religion of the parents.
Great. So that is something I understood, that religion-based legal system is about equity, is about what is fair, what is justice, and how to implement justice for everybody. Thank you, Doctor, for joining us, and thank you all for keep watching the interviews of the authors of the book The Mind of the World Philosophy Day. Thank you, Doctor.
My great pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you all.